Though many of us complain about games being excessively bloated time sinks these days, sometimes they're just so damn immersive and addictive that you can't help but be pulled in for, I don't know, just a couple hundred of hours. And so, of all of the games due to release in 2026, expect these ones to dominate your precious free gaming time like nothing else. So with this in mind, I'm Jules, this is FGS, and these are the top 10 upcoming 2026 games you'll be 200 plus hours into. Number 10. Crimson Desert. Pearl Abyss's MMORPG Black Desert Online can literally take up thousands of hours of your life, and while the single-player spin-off Crimson Desert is a little more measured in scope, it still looks like an absolute beast of a game. Last year, the developer revealed that the medieval fantasy RPG story campaign will take players around 80 hours to complete alone, and if we know anything about RPGs, it's that the critical path runtime is almost dwarfed many times over by that of the side content, and so Crimson Desert likely won't be an exception, especially with Pearl Abyss promising that its teeming open world will be bloody massive with tons of things to do. Furthermore, in the vein of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, a large portion of the game's open world can be freely climbed, practically inviting players to find a cool spot on the horizon and then try to scale it. And if this all somehow isn't enough to keep you busy, a multiplayer mode will reportedly be patched in after launch. That is a whole lot of game. Number 9. Subnautica 2. The original Subnautica was a colossal game in its own right, with players easily able to spend 100 or so hours exploring every square inch of its gigantic underwater world. But developer Unknown Worlds Entertainment has promised that Subnautica 2 will be a much larger affair, offering an ocean depth that is, well, even deeper. For keen oceanic explorers, Subnautica 2 seems primed to present more expansive biomes, and in a first for the franchise, the sequel will also introduce co-op multiplayer functionality. Beyond the obvious appeal of exploring the world with friends, multiplayer might also help the thalassophobia sufferers amongst us spend a little more time with the game, so that is a win-win. Basically, it's just going to be more Subnautica, which certainly isn't a bad thing. It's a safe bet that this bigger, possibly better sequel doubles the playtime of the original, especially with the new multiplayer hook. Number 8. Pokemon Champions. The Pokemon franchise has been nothing if not a consistent devourer of spare time, and the upcoming Pokemon Champions certainly won't be any different. The fun hook here, of course, is that Pokemon Champions is a battle-focused game with an emphasis on multiplayer, allowing you to take on others in both ranked and private battles. With its turn-based strategy gameplay, it's obviously taking a page from the book of Pokemon Stadium, and in an additionally neat rub, will allow players to use Pokemon Home to import Pokemon from their wider collection. As if this all doesn't guarantee hundreds of hours of time spent, it's also a free-to-start game, meaning that Nintendo won't be charging an upfront fee. Rather, the game will feature unspecified paid elements and a not-free digital version of the game, which will also be later offered. Though there's probably good reason to be skeptical about how pay-to-start will actually pan out, without an immediate financial barrier, there's surely many who will lose countless hours to this one, battling folk online. Number 7. Lords of the Fallen 2. 2023's reboot of Lords of the Fallen took about 30 hours to beat on the lower end, though it wasn't uncommon for curious players and completionists to spend about 100 hours ticking off everything. The publisher CI Games has promised the upcoming third entry into the franchise, somewhat confusingly called Lords of the Fallen 2, will be a beefier evolution of the previous installment. 2023's reboot received relatively mixed reviews upon launch, but was massively improved upon by a 2.0 update released earlier this year, which comprehensively overhauled the gameplay while introducing innumerable quality of life fixes. And CI Games has confirmed that the 2.0 changes will be implemented in Lords of the Fallen 2 from the very beginning, ensuring that this sequel will give players all the more reason to stay immersed in its teeming semi-open world for even longer. Number 6. Big Walk. Don't be shocked if Big Walk is the peak of 2026. A vibrant, colourful co-op adventure game that becomes a viral hit and basically takes over your life for a very long while. The new game from untitled Goose Game developers House, Big Walk allows up to 4 players to work together to navigate a stark open world environment. Dubbed a Walker Talker by House, Big Walk's gameplay consists largely of exploration, puzzle solving, and talking per the game's proximity voice chat. Puzzles typically require unorthodox teamwork and surprising methods of communication, such as miming and singing, which should help make Big Walk one of the most charmingly bizarre multiplayer experiences of next year. Though we don't know how much content is actually packed into the game, proximity chat alone could very well make it the perfect hangout game for friends to while away hours and hours, something that the developer is only too happy to encourage. If it's even remotely as fun as it looks, this could be one of 2026's big surprise hits. Number 5. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection. The latest entry entry into the Monster Hunter Stories spin-off series is nearly upon us, with Twisted Reflection again repping the turn-based combat and gorgeous cel-shaded style of its predecessors. This time around, the birth of Twin Rathalos sparks a war between the fractured nations present in the game, and as the only Rathalos rider in the area, it falls to you to try and prevent catastrophe. Like just about every entry in the Monster Hunter series, the Stories games have a compulsively addictive quality which makes it tough to put the controller down. The two prior Stories games could easily last you a couple hundred hours apiece, and so there's no reason to expect any difference here. If you're a Monster Hunter fan, you probably already know that you're going to surrender yourself to this one. Number 4, Call of Duty 2026. As sure as the sun will rise tomorrow, so too will a new Call of Duty game be released in 2026. And though its title hasn't been yet confirmed, rumors point to it being Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Whatever form it takes, Activision and their dev teams have cornered the market on producing near narcotically addictive first-person shooters for over the last 2 decades. Though Call of Duty's campaigns generally last just a few hours, the multiplayer is the time suck to beat all time sucks. For the great many pathologically hell-bent on hitting max prestige each and every year, that alone can easily push you over the 200-hour mark. And that's without even getting into the inevitable zombies mode, which, if played with a game group of pals, can keep you occupied for ages. We pretty much all know what we're getting from Call of Duty at this point, you know, twitchy fast food action gameplay, and sometimes a marathon helping of that is exactly what the soul yearns for. Number 3, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls left fighting games positively shook when it was unexpectedly revealed earlier this summer, given that it will be the first Marvel-based fighting game since 2017's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Ew. Marvel fighting game fans are hungry, to put it bluntly, and it certainly didn't hurt that the tag team gameplay shown off in the reveal trailer looked absolutely spectacular. With fighting game legends Arc System Works developing the game, it's easy to believe that the gameplay will be tight and responsive, ensuring that it will become a mainstay in the fighting game community in record time. This naturally means that obsessed players will pour ungodly hours into perfecting their craft, but one of the game's biggest goals has to be making it approachable for newbies, as it is deep and satisfying for veterans. A tricky balance to strike for sure, but if ASW pulls it off, they're going to have fighting games positively glued to their platform of choice for a long old while. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah. I mean, I've got a script here to read to tell you about how you'll definitely be playing this game. I don't think I need it. Moving on. And number 1, The Elder Scrolls 6. And finally, we have one of the few out there that can actually rival Grand Theft Auto 6 in terms of both scale and anticipation, and that's another sixer, The Elder Scrolls 6. Bethesda are vaunted masters of producing peerlessly rich worlds for players to lose themselves in for literally hundreds of hours, and so why expect any different from their next? Even though Bethesda's most iconic RPGs like Skyrim and Fallout 4 actually have relatively short critical paths of just a few dozen hours, completionists can easily spend upwards of 200 hours hoovering up everything they have to offer. And so, The Elder Scrolls 6 might have some mighty boots to fill, but it's basically guaranteed to offer players a mind-bogglingly immersive world that they'll need to be dragged away from. Now, in total fairness, we don't actually know for sure that Elder Scrolls 6 will release for PC and Xbox in 2026, but the last formal update from Bethesda said it would drop in 2026 or later, so the possibility absolutely remains, especially with how long it's been cooking, so here's hoping. And there we go, my friends, those were the top 10 upcoming 2026 games you'll be 200 plus hours into. Hope you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Instagram and Blue Sky where I'm at RetroJ, but the O is a 0. Hope to see you over there. You can come check out all of my Warhammer paintings that I do, because I am a nerd and I love them little figurines. Yeah. Anyway, take care of yourself, my friends. Big love to you. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.